Good morning, all. Hello, Shandy. Hello, Jay and Amy. Hello, Mouse Mitts. Hello, Robert. Hello, Georgia Whippoorwill. Good to see you guys this morning. Pleasure to have you. Appreciate that salty Mavic. Yes, Jason. See, where do you? Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to where I think we're at. That will be part of the morning discussion. Hello, beloved DM or beloved I am. Oh, that's better. Yeah, a lot of cool things came out of the Iraqi visit. A lot of cool things. We'll be talking about some of those this morning, a little update on those. Are you feeling good about your financial future? Because when I look back on the last few years, all I see are higher prices, everyday necessities out of reach, gas spiking. And if your savings are sitting in cash, you're feeling every bit of it. You know who's keeping up? Gold investors. Here's the thing, gold's priced in dollars. When dollars value goes down, like now, it takes more dollars to buy the same amount of gold. That is why gold prices usually increase during inflationary times. That price increase helps protect your buying power. So, why are you sitting on cash? We've entered the asset economy. Countries, investors, everyday Americans, they all protect their wealth with assets, not dollars. If you're ready to shift your wealth away from the dollar, like nations around the world, central banks, the wealthy, just like they're doing now. You can find out more by going to noblegoldinvestments.com or going to markzgold.com. They simplify the process and makes it easy for you to protect your financial future. Look, only you can decide how to protect your wealth. So gather the facts and then make the best decision for you. You can start by visiting them again at noblegoldinvestments.com or markzgold.com. I guess we could call it a golden opportunity right now. Hello, crazy. Wait, what was that? Crazy D in Houston. I don't know where she is this morning. She wasn't. Oh, you can't see her. She's behind me. Regina, I am tired. I am very tired, but my crazy hectic schedule just got easier yesterday. Did an airport drop off for people work. So my schedule gets considerably better for the next couple weeks starting today. I'm so excited about it. Naidu says, Nai, our first grandson's date of birth is today. Oh, congratulations. Share the detail. Oh, there's something I forgot to share on Friday that I wanted to share. Kind of, well, call it a shout out, call it a congratulations. See if I can find it. Give me just a minute. Let me pull this over here. Pull that one, go here. Bear with me, guys. Gary's wife got her citizenship last week from Australia to the US. Big congratulations. The hard work that it takes, the paperwork, the effort, staying on it, fighting to become an American. I love it. Just fantastic. Congratulations on that one, Gary and wife. Let me show those off again. I think that's just awesome. Right now, back to it. Getting it all cleaned up. There we go. 7TZ, right? I think it's very cool. See, Grand Risings, apparently California bank managers are manning the phones from 8 to 11. I wonder who reported that. Wonder how much we can count on. Let's see, will debts be erased during the shutdown or will take some time after? Mr. C believes it'll happen during a shutdown or the moment they flip the switch. But to go through all the settlement paperwork, wait for everything to get to you may take a while, but he says they cancel immediately or has in the past. Texas Snake said, well, you guys double check. Texas Snake, they say he says a lot of things that he never said. He has as many false people or people pretending to be him as I do. It's gonna feel different, right, guy, when it finally happens. We've been waiting for so long. We've had the rug pulled so many times. It is going to be a weird thing when it does indeed occur. Salty, we'll be glad to have you over here. Yeah, welcome to our giant dysfunctional family we call America. This is how dysfunctional functions, Jabril. I like it. Dragonheart, part of the discussion today. You guys are on it on the questions in a good way. Ooh, one thing we can start on. Well, let's first, we're going to get a little word from our resident philosopher. Act with intention and your efforts will flourish. I saw that, Sluggo. Not going there. I'm going to start right here. Breaking news coming out of the UK. Andy Burnham is now the UK Prime Minister. Yeah, he went to sit with the King. Former Manchester Mayor replaced Keir Starmer after meeting with King Charles at Buckingham Palace, where he was formally invited to form a government. So this is like Keir Starmer 2.0. Great nieces. Let's see if I can find that one. Somebody said it's the great niece's birthday. Where'd it go? I'm gonna try to find it. See if there was a name attached to it. Yeah, not gonna be able. It went too quickly. I'm still looking. Handy Andy is prime minister. I saw that one. Oh, Sabrina's niece, sixth birthday. Happy birthday, Sabrina 71. Mark today is okay. Happy birthday to her. Yes, Chase is opening an investment branch in Iraq. Yeah, supposedly that's King Charles with him. And what did Chad say? An economic expert told Nina the banking agreement signed by Al Zaidi have begun their implementation phases. We got a couple good things on that story today. We are supposed to have Jonathan Otto joining us this morning as well. Let me keep an eye on it. Aha. Okay. There we go. Boy, Diane, this is one we've covered about 10 million times. German bonds, Chinese bonds, what we're referring to are different government bonds. Some of them left from World War II, some left where it's sovereign nations rebuilding, adding infrastructure. Those are the bonds we're referring to. There's more than one. Got a gnat that is going to drive me a little batty this morning. German bonds, most of the bonds they're referring to are the ones that were sold right after World War II to rebuild. Trying to keep up with you guys. Y'all are just flying this morning in chat. Milton, have I considered it? Yes, but I don't have time in my personal schedule to change it. So it's got to be Monday morning or not at all on Monday. Because trust me, I know Mondays are more of what are we expecting? What do we think we're going to see this week? Because you don't have all your updates yet. Because we don't know what happened over the weekend until we can vet it. I know what's being reported, but then we got to get busy and vet it throughout the day. What's a redemptions? It's a redeeming bank. When somebody says redemption center, they're referring to a bank location that can redeem your currency. Change what you want to call it. Call it a redeeming bank. Call it a yeah. Call it what you want. That's what we are referring to. When somebody says redemption center, we're talking about going to a bank that can redeem your currency. Yep, a lot of those questions. It's time to start diving into them. Let's get the news banner up. Got the news banner up. I'm reading a few of these and then we're diving in. Okay. Yeah, Alex, you ask every Monday. It is rare that I ever have a bond update for Mondays mornings. Extremely rare. Doesn't hurt to ask, I guess. On the bond side, I don't know what to tell you guys. What I am hearing from a contact that will be working with one of the large groups traveling today. They want them on location for tomorrow. So I've heard some rumors from groups that they could possibly start this week. From the bond side, I don't know what to tell you yet. I had two sources tell me that they finished the Indian nations over the weekend, but I've not been able to verify them with my Indian leader contacts yet. We've got a couple of different tribes. We know some of the tribal leaders. So I'm going to try to get an update and verify that one. But that's your rumors right now for this morning are that they completed the funding, meaning putting it in place. They'll distribute it at the same time they distribute ours, and that we have group personnel. I can verify I got a group personnel person that is traveling today to be in location for tomorrow. Doesn't mean they're going tomorrow, but I should get a solid update because they will be in their seat out west. See if I missed anything on that one before we head off to Iraq. Oh, yep. I'm going to ignore some of the questions. Save my sanity. Save my sanity. Who's involved in the Indian nations? You know, folks with the reservations and etc. The Indian nations. Logan turning 6 today. Yeah, Tahoe, exactly. You got it. I swear I filled it. I did probably was a little harder on Barbara Beverly, whoever it was Friday, but it's going to get much tougher. If language is offensive to you, it's going to get much tougher. All I can say is protect yourself or go hide. Jim, no. Oklahoma Indians, Wyoming, all over. Oh, some strong opinions this morning. Yeah, it is tough with all the same questions, but I get it. You know, it's the same questions 5 years in a row, almost every day. It does get tough, but that's the privilege. I could do it like other people and just do a recorded, put it up the news, and not answer questions. But I want to be here for you guys. I'm trying desperately to stay calm and patient. Yeah. Oh, yeah. How many gurus will predict and miss the next 7 days? I would imagine probably all but one. Clint, I'm kind of thinking my next haircut this coming. I'm trying to get it squeezed in into this week or first of next week. I think it's going to be my last haircut before the RV. Oh wait, wait. So, oh, you're married to a Navy vet. I bet you hear it all. Claire, that is so true. That being said, though, willy nilly use of profanity really is low IQ. That's not what the statistics show. Strangely enough, people that have very colorful language tend to have a higher intelligence quotient. So maybe I'm dumbing myself down. I like that one, Spackle Daddy. Surgical precision guided. Yes, exactly what I was getting at. Gotta be strategic, surgical. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having fun. I got to get back to the news. Let's get to Iraq. Oh, Yeah, I'm with Jill. Jill, people don't forget all the gurus are just saying what they've been told. Use your own intelligence to decide. Yeah, but we don't have to be mean about everybody. That's for certain. And I have to monitor myself as well. Politically, I still got to unpack this one. My brief dive on Andy Burnham is they didn't step up. They stepped down and they were already in a bad spot. So it's like going from really stinky to horrendously stinky. But that's my opinion. You guys in the UK, tell me what you think because I don't live there. Let's get to Iraq. Iraq seeks economic overhaul through $60 billion US partnership. We're getting a lot of details. Money has already started flowing to Iraq with the return of Zaidi, who is now back in theater. Matter of fact, Qatar, he's got a number of Middle Eastern leaders meeting with him today and tomorrow. Iraq signs 48 different deals with U.S. firms. Some really big occurrences on changing and shifting world power occurred over the weekend, too. On pipelines, some more mothballed pipelines are going to get very quickly upfitted. They're bringing in the heavy guns and international corporations to get more oil flowing without the need of Hormuz. Big stuff going on that front. Iraq, very excited. We do have some fun stuff here. Spread across several governments, dismantling currency smuggling networks, seizing more than $1 billion. We have people in theater in Iraq, from military to business. They are reporting that they have really clamped down on borders and border security, especially in custom smuggling on that front. They're saying they're going to start going after it's been so successful, and the people are just screaming how successful the cleanups have been that they're going to keep going. Now, let's focus on this one. Over $1 billion dinar, 251 MasterCards, 252 SIM cards used to smuggle foreign currency, 256,000 cash, 100,000 of U.S. cash on top of that, 100,000 in counterfeit U.S. dollars. They big bust over the weekend, and they're putting an end to it. Experts, the decision to qualify 7 banks is a step towards global financial integration. They clamp down on the black market or the smuggling one. The decision was made with U.S. Treasury and the international banking world. The suspect banks in Iraq, they're just cleaning house. They are, what's the best word for it? Refurbing the banks from the top to the bottom so that they don't have to have the cash window for cash dollars. They're going to be able to use the banks. This is going to force KYC and AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering laws kicking in. So it's going to open up. They believe that the approach will crush the black market, allowing for there to be no fluctuation in exchange rate, meaning it will tighten. It'll get away with the black market and the fluctuations to support the dinar. And I love this one. Iraqi private banks in league with the U.S. Treasury to strengthen Iraqi dinar's stability in order to make it more stable so that they can increase the value. They're refurbing these banks, all the reform and the Treasury talks, and they have started today. They've already done a lot on the banking front. So the news out of Iraq seems to be very much meshing with getting it done, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Lynette, I like the thought anyways. Reading a few of these, going through them. I'm going to come back to questions. Yes, beloved, I am. Even if we had Tesla 0 point energy, we would still need oil. It's still widely used as a lubricant. Won't need as much though, but we will still need it. The good news is some of the oil, because of the paraffin in the US, largely superior for lubricants. Karen, I get my hair cut about every 3 weeks. I tell you, music just saying Anon sources indicate that Iraqi fraud and corruption arrests will happen in the U.S. over the next couple of weeks. I'm hearing that from so many different locations. I'm hearing that they're cracking down. You're going to see possibility of some arrests this week in California, specifically in the Newsom household. Overall, HCL has not been passed yet. They discussed that on Friday. We discussed that on Friday, I believe it was. We shared articles. Now that they have the ISCUDA and the customs and tariffs part taken care of, it is time to move forward as quickly as possible to finish the last outstanding pieces and pass it. Pieces and pass it? No. Bond. I was convinced on the bond one. That was my way of trying to find out, do they have spendable money yet? I do not believe they have spendable money. Last update was I was supposed to get an update Tuesday this week. DJG, common sense tells us Haiti would not have come to Washington if everything wasn't complete. I agree. Or to put the final bow or ribbon on that completion. I don't know, Tim. That's not a stupid question. Tim said, I have World War II German currency. Do you think it's going to be any good? It could be. I would take it. If not, my guess is it's going to become a pretty valuable collector's item. See, busy week for this Mama Bear, 25-year service anniversary, bonus son's 30th birthday, daughter-in-law's 38th birthday, son's 37th, German Shepherd 7th. That's a lot of birthdays this week for you. Congratulations. See, Mark, there's a patriot named Chris Britton on YouTube that's calling for an uprising in 90 days. He has quite the following, a true Southern boy and patriot. Ooh, that'd be a dangerous thing to be asking for. I have asked myself over and over and over, why have people in the US not risen up, or around the world in general? It's not me saying that I'm pushing for it. It's just understanding history. People have been pushed to a point where they're just not going to take it anymore. I'm surprised they've allowed themselves to be pushed this far. Let's see, Jim Thompson, I don't understand, will the 25K dinar notes be in circulation if 1-to-1 with the USD? They will only be in circulation for a short period of time. What we have seen in other countries that have revalued at those kinds of levels, you have a certain amount of time to exchange those for more small notes. To keep the math, let's say it's a 500 note. So you would go, instead of a 25 note, and you had 500 notes, what is that? 100 of them or something like that. You guys do the math. My brain's a little cooked this morning. They'll take them out of circulation after you exchange them. In other words, go put your money in the bank, go exchange those big bills, put them into the bank. Now you got the new money. Gary, I believe they are making those deals with the knowledge that the rate is about to be changed. Jay, no birthdays, huh? Tim, illegal immigration so high worldwide. That's why no uprising. I don't know. To me, that would seem to lend to more of a chance of an uprising. Now, TDS on both sides of the aisle, those that think he can do no wrong and those think he can do no right, is going to continue unabated, unfortunately. What do I think the trigger is going to be? I'm a little confused on this one. Mediators float a 10-day ceasefire as Pezeshkian tells citizens Iran's engaged in a full-scale war. Pretty thoughtful piece by him. He's like, war's going to end for what he considers two reasons. And since Iran can't take over Israel and the U.S., it's time to sit down and talk, because he believes that they are militarily in a better position than the U.S., which I think is crazy thinking. But hey, he's allowed to have those thoughts. I know a lot of rational, sound, intelligent people that have come to some really, really bad conclusions, and he came to a really bad conclusion on that front. So, do we need peace? Don't need peace. I really thought we were going to have peace and this thing was going to move forward, but it seems stuck in a quagmire, which is not unusual in the Middle East. So, what do you guys think? Does that need to check off the list? I'm getting mixed stories from folks. I'm being told absolutely they've got to at least get a solid ceasefire in. Other people saying it doesn't matter at all. I personally don't think it matters anymore. I think they have tightened up the money flowing in and out, and that was the reason. Do you think they will tell us when we schedule our appointment of which currencies will be available to exchange? I plan to take them all with me unless they tell me no. Mama Bear, I do think that they will give us at least the big currencies. They'll tell us which ones are because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. But I would still take any currency that, if they don't specifically say no, not this one yet, I'd take it. Amber's birthday. Reading a few of these. Let's see. Miss Jeannie, I have a girlfriend moving back to Iraq. What's better for her to exchange money in the bank or exchange in physical? Uh, I would do it in the bank. It'll be easier. And I think she'll do better on the rate. I'm with you. I don't think we'll ever fully see peace in the Middle East until Christ returns. Some of you guys' comments. I hope it is too. Talking about her birthday. Oh, Steve, it's definitely becoming a quagmire. Definitely becoming a quagmire. And you've got to ask yourself, why is it becoming a quagmire? Why did Vietnam become one? Why did Iraq become one? Is it because we lack the will to finish it, or is it because they like the never-ending wars? Pretty much the question you have to ask yourself. If we have the capability to end it, why aren't we ending it? Why are we doing tit for tat? They strike a ship, we blow up a ship. Doesn't make much sense if you logical thinking individual. Now, what makes the most sense is you go clean house. They kill 2 of your people, you kill 200 of theirs. They kill 200 yours, you kill 20,000 of theirs. You make it so unpalatable that they never want to go to war with you. I don't know why I still have that going. Let me turn that off and talk to Yidden's guys. Al's 80s Media Group on X covered every meeting in the U.S. Exciting. No, it was. I read quite a few of them, Southern Alabama Roots. It was great. Milton said maybe they get money and account, but not spendable until everyone has money. That's very much what I think is going to happen. And I do. Dr. Phil, I would be stunned if they don't offer some kind of SKR for currencies that aren't in a first basket. May not be at the exchange, but I think within very short order afterwards that will be an option. Oh, yeah. Twitch, the cabal is blocking success to help keep their money laundering terrorist arm going. Yes, they are. But we knew that was going to be the fight. This gnat is going to drive me nuts. You'll see me like, Spackle Daddy, they'll put other currencies in a multi-currency account to park as they revalue. Exactly. That's what I expect to happen. Casey, I'm calm. Get this thing done. I want the Band-Aid off. That gnat. So if we hold Zim, we will have 2 different types of exchanges, 2 separate times. Very possible. It's my understanding that the currency will immediately go in, but if you have a project That will be a follow-up appointment. Callie, happy birthday yesterday, Callie, will you? Some big truck backing in at the neighbors. Yeah, sure, there's an ad. It's just people talking in my head. And the tape could be a secret spy drone. Katie boy, we do that almost every week. I'll work on putting one in type and then putting it over at Voices of Freedom. Uh-oh, maybe it is spy drones that I have a gnat flying around me also. 72Z, perhaps it is, who knows? Maybe they're spy drones keeping up with you and I. Marvin, when he lands on my glasses, just tunk. Let's see. Would you suggest holding on to currencies from second, possibly third basket instead of getting an SKR? Probably a little bit of both, not yours, but I think most of them I would put in a currency account so I don't have to keep up with them or think about it. All right. Rose's birthday. I saw that. Happy birthday, Rose. How many of you guys, if your finances were great, just good to go, you don't need the money, would this not be an easier process? You got your 5, 10 million, whatever in currency. Well, don't mean that much. I mean, you got 5, 10 grand invested in, you got 5 to 10 million of a currency. Wouldn't it be easier if you didn't need the money? You could just put it on the shelf and can't wait for this to happen. You weren't like trying to stretch pennies and eat and keep the lights on. It'd be easy or easier. My currency is mostly 50K notes. That's not going to be a problem at all, dog nails. No problem at all. The flock gnats. I'm being tracked. It wasn't oh, that's mean. Oh. So Iraq, Zaidis to visit Iran, Turkey after Washington. He's on a rip. He is completely redistributing power in the Middle East. Do this one time and we're free. Well, if we're smart, we'll be free. Lay an empty ketchup bottle on its side. Gnats will line up to enter the bottle and not get out. I'll try about anything. Boy, they're annoying. I'm trying to keep up. You guys are just ripping. Sluggo. We did a live, but I do need to change the link. Massey introduced a bill cutting off Israel. He's the only one who voted yes. I'm not surprised. Oh, you guys keeping up with the Paul brother? Well, not the Paul brothers. The Tate brothers being picked up, coming back into Miami on what they claim trumped up bogus charges from the UK as they're trying to extradite them back there. And yeah, we even did a live you can on Back to Basics 2.0 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday. It was a great one too. We answered so many basic questions. I'm really stunned it's not getting more views. I do not think it's safe for him to visit Iran. I would not visit Iran. Reading a few of these, keeping up with it. Nikki, that's a perfect thing to do. Put those M notes away until it's time, because we don't know what the value is yet. We have thoughts and ideas, but we don't know for certain. Let's see, those retired holders, do they don't guys, you do not have to participate in doing a humanitarian project. If you do, great. I've not heard an update lately, but was told a long time ago that they would have some pre-approved ones, meaning you don't have to do. You can just say, "Hey, I'll put it here. Anything extra will go to this humanitarian project that somebody else has. Maybe it's wounded warriors. Maybe it's um, feeding the poor, creating new farms." But I was told many years ago that we would have a list of those we could pick from if we didn't want to do one and just wanted to donate part of the money to go there. Yeah, I'm just reading a few of these, trying to keep up with you guys. Splurge, sending prayers. JGG, the news is pretty much over. There just wasn't that much. Although there was some pretty good stuff with the expectations. Now I got to get busy and vet it as soon as we wrap up the podcast today. Nugs, Chronic Kush, CIA psyop on the Tate brothers. Most people believe it's a deep state takedown, similar to what they did to Julian Assange, leveled absolutely baseless accusations, tied him up in court, made life miserable just to shut him up. Very possible that's what's going on with Tate brothers, and possible they did some shady stuff. Trina and Wayne's anniversary. Happy anniversary. Wait, Tulsi's brother or Tate's brother? I'm wondering if they just messed up the autocorrect, finished it for you. Great. I think educating the poor would be a good start. I think it'd be a great start. Um, should we do one of these, another one of these, where we just talk about some humanitarian project ideas and maybe use AI or Chat GPT to flesh a couple out and do another live like that one? What do you guys think? For it to make sense, somebody said Tulsi's brother. I wonder what he got arrested for. Maybe they're trying to apply pressure to Tulsi after all the drops she made at DNI, but now that she has resigned to take care of her husband, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, the arms flailing wasn't a calm. It was trying to get rid of that stinking gnat. I've killed two or three, and I've got one that is just he's committed, or she's committed to making my life miserable this morning. Slogo, that is Kukla's. That is not me. That is her helping hands. I think it is still going over at her Telegram room. I don't get to suggest anymore because YouTube, all those, we're only allowed to, or get removed. We're only allowed to suggest ones that have all of the paperwork, 501(c)(3)s, 50 whatever they happen to be. Otherwise, I would still be trying to get you guys help because it was a big one. I still help people when I can out of ad revenue, although we've slowed way down doing any advertising for the most part. Linda's birthday, 76. On my signal said breaking. Kuwait says its air defenses are intercepting Iranian missiles and drones after what it called heinous Iranian aggression, with explosions reported from ongoing interception efforts. It is going on, man. It is just downright. There's no logic, or there's a lot of logic, and I'm just still trying to figure it out in the Middle East right now as they are attacking other countries. I should go ahead and sing before we get Jonathan in here. Boy, he's had some good ones of late. Yeah, I think he is ready to join us. Try this again. Autocorrect is killing me lately. All right, Logan, Amber, Callie, Rose, and Linda. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, may all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. To all those celebrating, happy birthday. Mm, Yeah, I'm not certain there's more evil in the news now, or we're just seeing it now, and they weren't reporting it before. Oh, wow. Tulsi's brother was apparently trying to recruit kids to his hotel with candy and sassy looks. Yeah, got to follow up on that one. Yeah, Fred, I've already asked him if I can get on the redacted show. There's a pretty big show. Although what I really need to do is, if I'm going to take this seriously, I need to work on a better studio setup and just do it. Happy birthday to Stephanie's ex mother in law, Liz. Let's see. There's a list of humanitarian projects going around. I'm doing sports complexes and eco friendly restrooms at beaches and parks. What are you guys doing? While we're waiting for Jonathan, you guys want to tell me what your thoughts are for humanitarian projects? If you had all the money in the world, what do you want to do? Nick, Jason from Glint has not responded with a date yet. He has got a packed schedule, but I'm trying to get him on the books. It is not scheduled yet, though. After we get paid, I can have my own news station. Mm, the mic's pretty good, but the background, the lighting, etc., it could use some love. Homes for the homeless, St. Jude, cleaning up rural lakes. Kind of like that one, Judy. I shouldn't say I like that one. Fun family park for the family is what I would like to do. We do need more, Nikki. We need more of those, like just the smaller mini amusement parks. Affordable ones might be a good one. Maybe that's how you do it. Helicopter ambulances, food sufficiency, an assisted living center that has healthy food and red light therapy and other healing modality. I like that one, Doctor. Of course, hopefully we will get a med beds and people can rewind and you won't need the retirement communities. But some people are going to choose not to. They're not going to want to mess with what they consider biology and destiny or whatever. A lot of people, I would think, are not going to want to rewind the clock. At least I can imagine that. What do you guys think? Fix Disney. I don't know if you need to fix Disney or just make a different one, a better one, a non-flawed one. Healthy restaurant chains to replace McDonald's and Taco Bell. Darren, I wanted to start one and call it clean. It's basically healthy fast food. Grilled chicken breasts, grilled piece of chicken. I mean, a grilled piece of fish, just healthy food cooked right, minimum ingredients. And ones that serve realistic portion sizes. My goodness, what people eat around the world and especially in the US now. In one meal, they'll eat an entire day worth of calories, just massive portion sizes. Frank, smoke purification caused by Carney up in Canada. Any updates on the Canadian wildfires, folks? Yeah, healthy food restaurants, much needed. Yes, they are. Salty just saying shall we all pitch in and just buy Disney? Some of the ones always Esther, Side Chicks, Turdford. You know that's going to be funny, man. We had tons of salad to go restaurants open in Texas. They were awesome, but they were overextended and closed. Yeah, that happens too often when they grow too fast. Smart toilets, my humanitarian project. They do have a lot of smart toilets, guys, that will help diagnose if you have health issues. It'll analyze your droppings or leakings. Rum said, I know an old school chum that does cat rescue in a sanctuary. Oh, that would be a neat thing to help out. D. Rogers, no, it's a concept that I wanted to create. I shouldn't say it's a concept I created in my head, but never put on paper. No, I would want it all over the world. Tahoe Builders said rebuild Old Town Lahaina in Hawaii. Jack, that's the big question. When do we see arrests? Rumors are we're going to see some this week. And I'm wondering if that is the ones that really trigger this to move. Building homes for impaired military, first responders, complete therapeutic, relaxing resort facilities. I would love a bunch of just, alternative healing modality places that are free for people to go. Free spay and neuter centers. I like that idea too. Boy, we really need those in Puerto Rico badly. Affordable weddings, affordable funerals. Did they announce that the mediators are indeed going to get that 10-day ceasefire that they're trying for, Chad? I see Helen's idea. Smart lawns to decrease water consumption. More desalination plants would probably be a good thing, or power plants to use that can also desalinate, or upfitting power plants to desalinate. Oh, speaking of healing and healing modalities, we're going to be bringing in Jonathan Otto. I'm really excited, although I don't think he has any idea how many people watch this one. Like, my goodness, the number of people that have commented about the one you did on Redacted has been just overwhelming in a good way.
Oh, wow.
Really made a splash.
Isn't that awesome? Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for talking about that. That's really, really awesome.
Some breaking news. An explosion and shooting outside 26 Federal Plaza in New York City prompted evacuation, massive law enforcement response. Okay. Breaking news. All right. So you've been like a rock star lately. Redacted, a number of other big podcasts. Where do you want to start today? Do we want to talk about your fame? Talk about the red light?
Yeah, fame is some kind of misnomer. It's all a myth, right? It's all really infamy. And look, in terms of the word getting out, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about that. It's funny, like anyone that really understands like the concept of fame knows that it's so cyclical that no one that really was thinking wisely would actually pursue it. It's here today, gone tomorrow. But in terms of like the ability for us to like move the needle and help humanity, I'm all for it. And so I'll go big and hard and I'll do everything I possibly can to get the truth out. So it sounds like you saw that. So you obviously saw the Redacted one. How about Russell Brand? That one, I heard that one.
Yeah, the Russell Brand one was a great one.
Awesome.
Russell Brand, Redacted, some of my favorites.
Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy, I would love to be able to have a conversation with him.
Nice.
I know on the political spectrum we are pretty far apart, but at the same point, we have far more in common than most would think.
There you go. Well, people with different views should talk.
No, absolutely. He's what I call a realistic progressive.
Nice.
He understands. I mean, he's got, he thinks certain things, medicine, things like that should be, government should take a bigger role in. But then other times he also understands just how corrupt our government is. So I don't know. He's an eyes wide open progressive. I like Jimmy.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, look, you know what? The funniest thing about me with this is that I don't actually really know many of their political views.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I hope that people that are listening to me right now would probably hope that I was that way, because how much time do I have, right? Do you want me to be obsessed about how to help you with your health problem, or do you want me to kind of know everything about everything? I know a lot about what I think is going on in deep state government, what people would dub as conspiracy. That has helped me. I could tell you that has definitely helped me, because the open-mindedness that I had to have to work out 9/11 maybe 18 years ago or something like that, and what was actually happened versus the official narrative, that line of thought, like you think about, put it this way, think about a doctor trying to help you with a health condition who is avid that we landed on the moon. That's just a funny concept. If you think we did, then that's fine. I don't mind. It's totally fine. To me, I think your judgment on that particular point is skewed, and I hope that it wouldn't be skewed when trying to work out my condition. And I think that some people are just very compartmentalized, but somebody that was extremely awake in that regard, and then maybe they'd have something else. But then I see people on the other side as well, where they are so deep down these rabbit holes that and the things that they understand are completely unverifiable, and they're so sure that it's real. Like, let's say that I'm so sure that there are reptilians. Well, and then here's exactly what they do, and here's how they shapeshift, and then you'd say, well, what is your evidence? And it's lacking. So I'm just saying, like, you can't be really, to me, extreme in either category if you are trying to be level-headed, fair, biased, unbalanced, unbiased, balanced. But balance is a myth as well. You can't really be balanced, because what are you balancing? Like, I don't want to be too extreme. So you're just making a decision based on where you want to sit. Like, I just want to be neutral. How do you do that? How do you be balanced? If balance means that you've assessed both sides and you've weighed evidence, then if that's what we're using, then sure, I would hope extremely balanced. But it's kind of like the word safe. Be safe, Jonathan. Well, how do you be safe? Like, you could be or careful, or be vigilant or worried, or different things that you would you kind of have to go all out when you believe in something. But anyway, that's what I think.
Somebody asking questions, and this one saying, how often should I use my Redlight 3000? How long at a time? Is that one of those where we should be using ChatGPT? We should be using an AI, just a search engine for what you want to use it for?
Yeah, it can be. And then here's one that I've held out on you with, Mark, with pulsed wave as well, because then that's another good question that's not getting asked. What pulse wave, right? So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's my opener. You ready for this? This is my opener. All right. So stem cells. Does red light therapy influence stem cells?
Yes.
Yeah. How much? And how much? The answer is about 3 times. Like it'll multiply your stem cells by about 3 times after one session. And I'll show you the clinical studies on that. Okay. And then the amount of time.
And I think about the money I spent getting the amount of money that I spent for stem cell injection. Would have been a lot cheaper just to use the red light every day.
Did it work? The stem cell injection?
It definitely helped.
Wow.
Definitely helped a little. Gave me more fine motor control in my upper body.
Yeah, and it was localized, right? They didn't do it IV. They did it.
No, they did IV.
They did IV.
I think localized would have probably had a better effect.
Wow. Huh. And then, by the way, guys, I mean, you hear something like that. Most often, you don't really hear of much improvement. Sometimes you do, and I like to hear those stories where people got improvement. I've used it several times for loved ones, and I've had it work once, and then obviously fail the other times. Anyway, the reason why I bring this up is, well, one, if people want to get free stem cells, then research urine therapy. Okay, so, and which to me, I do believe that societies should do what previous societies did and still do. Like, for example, in some Chinese people do this still, where young children volunteer their urine for people that need it, right? And so they'll bottle that up, and then the elderly people will use it. And it's kind of like it's very similar to what Brian Johnson has done, but without the blood extraction. And anyway, and the stem cells, like, you know, one of my friends, Dr. Antonio Jimenez, he flew off to Dubai, or somewhere in the Middle East, and he was consulting with a ultra wealthy person that had some, like, I think it was maybe stage 4 cancer or something. But anyway, he flew off with about $500,000 worth of exosomes, and because at that point, like, literally, if you had like $5 billion in your bank account, how many would you get? Right? You just and you're just gonna die, and then, you know, there's enough money there with your relatives. Like, there's nothing that you lack for, so why not get all of it? And anyway, so he sends them off with these exosomes, and then when you understand that the exosomes, they come from it's basically baby's urine.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, because it's fetal amniotic fluid, which is 90% urine. And tell me the difference between that. There are a few differences. Like, for example, it's the baby hasn't been born yet, so you're getting the very genesis of life. But when 50-year-olds stem cells in their urine have been tapped into to work out, okay, are they active? And 60% or 59.2% were telomerase positive. So what I'm saying is that, and then the 20 to 40-year-old, 75% of those is telomerase positive. If it's about young stem cells, they're in the urine, right? And the exosomes, you know how many exosomes are in urine, Mark?
No idea.
Tens of billions in the first morning urine. I can show you that through nanoparticle tracking analysis, through dozens of studies verifying that those exosomes are there. Stem cells secrete exosomes. That's the whole science behind stem cells. It's really the exosomes that are doing the work. They rely on the presence of stem cells, but the exosomes are the growth factors. They're called extracellular vesicles, and they're messenger cells. By the way, you know how you can multiply your exosome count by 6.25 times?
All right, I'm ready for this one.
Red light therapy.
Really? That big a difference in the exome levels?
Yep. I'm going to show you that. And so then, if, like, for example, somebody's, you know, if you decide, you know what, I'm going to do urine therapy, then you could, you know, do urine therapy. You do red light therapy before you collect your urine. By the way, that stem cell study, you know how long it took for there to be this multiplication? You're going to need evidence of what I'm saying. And so anyway, this was my long-winded answer on how long to do it for. The stem cell study was 100 seconds. That's how long the red light was over the person.
That quickly?
Yeah, it was 100 seconds. I can show you. But normally, right? Normally we're talking about, 15 minutes.
Cindy had a question while you're looking that one. Question for Jonathan. Somebody had mentioned possibly by next year there could be a prescription for red light so that you can maybe use insurance to get it for a treatment.
It's already here. It's already here, and we've got it, right? So HSA, we're covered as one example. I'm not the only company that's covered by HSA, and there are countless things that you can use your HSA, your health savings account. You're familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you know how much money employers are receiving back from their employees that are unclaimed in HSA accounts? That just Americans are just giving it up, like giving it back to their employers. How much?
Like, use it.
How much do you think? How much do you think is getting repaid back to them that they're not claiming and using for their HSA accounts?
My guess is, I don't know, what, half the money?
Yeah, I don't know how much it is proportionately, but I know it's $4.5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from HS that aren't even basically that they could have spent for something like Red Light or better vitamins and didn't.
Yeah, because they just waited. Oh, I'm going to keep all this money here, but it's a certain amount every year, and it rolls over and it goes away. So at least, like, if you are a rainy day kind of person, then at least like put a timer for the end of the year and let's find. Look, HSA is not my my life's work, right? So somebody can tell me if it's the 31st of December when then that expires. Google can fact check us. Somebody can help us in the comments. Anyway, whatever that date is, just make sure that you've emptied your HSA account for that year, for whatever part of that's yearly that rolls over or whatever. But anyway, look, all I know is that we do accept it now, and so that is so that means that for anyone that has that, then arguably red light therapy or any other therapy that you want to do that falls into that category that is approved. Like the company has to be. So like if, for example, if I didn't have the HSA, then even though red light therapy falls under the approval, then you'd have to just go with another company that has that and then hope that you could trust them and that type of thing. So we just made it easier, obviously, and that's good. But and so the amount of time, could be very short, but generally we're saying, 15 to 30 minutes a day, once to twice a day, which could be it could be 15 minutes twice a day or as much as 30 minutes twice a day. There are studies on all variations of this. I think that people have to go with what feels right for them and experiment a little bit. Like none of us drank the exact amount of water. Just let's be honest about that. Okay. None of us drank the exact amount of water. None of us ate the exact food or the exact amounts of food, but people expect red light to be so specific. And I can't give you a number, right? I can't say this is it for you because there's so many variations. And so that I think helps in a way, but the acute long COVID study showed it was 64 to 84 minute long sessions, and it was 4 within 1 week. So every other day, basically for a week, they did hour to an hour and a half long sessions, but this is one thing that I've never shared about that study. They used pulsed wave, which looks like this.
So like strobes?
Yeah. It's party. Dude. Are we going to play some music? What are we doing? By the way, do you know that, hold on. Psychedelic studies have been done on this as well?
No.
Yeah, how cool is that? They go back to the early 1900s, and so you're seeing this. So you'll get all kinds of like visual hallucinations by doing this, and then you'd say, okay, Jonathan, like, you got your long hair too, join the Beatles. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're some hippie now. Like, you've betrayed your Christian audience. Okay. Well, guys, listen, what I'm saying is that the reason why psilocybin is documented in studies to treat depression and dementia and Alzheimer's and had extremely effective outcomes, and I could show you the literature on that, is because there is an element where it can help with neuroplasticity. Do I think that people should use these as party drugs? Do I think that there are clinical settings for these? Yeah, potentially, but I am still concerned about the risks, and I don't think I'm well versed enough to advocate for or against. But what I can tell you is that if you could retrain your brain through light, then you can avoid the challenges that come with like a hallucinogenic drug. which again, it comes from nature, so I'm not demonizing it. But anyway, so check this out. So check out this study while I'm having this flashing light on me. Is that on screen? Yeah.
I'm gonna give me a minute. I'm fighting my boom. It's on the screen.
We got it, Mark. By the way, I missed you, bro. I haven't seen
Yeah,
you
where have you been?
for a long time.
You've had a busy schedule.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Mark. I got a baby coming in 5 weeks.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's awesome. Congratulations.
My first baby girl.
That is awesome.
Dude, we're gonna have to spend some time together.
Yeah,
And I would love you to. I don't think I've introduced you to the boys in person yet, have I?
No, not in person.
No, man. We gotta do this. This is gonna
Nah,
be good.
I'll just come down to Rincon and
bro.
get a bite.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely deserve to be the one that has the person come to them considering the newborn. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just claim that. Be like,
you need to limit travel right now.
Yeah, but you know, also your mobility, right? So we both make it work, bro. And I appreciate your friendship. Go ahead.
Rob had said something about in a 72-hour fast, one of the best results for stem cell. Have anybody really studied maybe fasting along with red light?
No, I know, because you can imagine that some of these things just need to happen, but we have to assume that both mechanisms are working independently, and instead of there just being okay, this and this, I suspect it's a multiplication factor versus an addition. You know what I mean, right? So 2 + 2 equals 4, but 2 × 2 also equals 4, but 5 + 5 equals 10, but 5 × 5 equals 25, right? So I do think it'd be more like the 25. But what do I know for sure? I know that these are the things that we see. And then exercise, even, right? You could do mild or rigorous exercise while doing separate from red light therapy or at the same time. It's not really about needing to match them in the time, because it's just activating the processes in the body. But these are the amazing studies. And then fasting. You could still be fasting and getting some exercise without giving yourself a hard time. But these were this was continuous wave for most of the stem cells. It's continuous wave, even though I'm showing the I'm going to give people like a problem here if I keep going with that. But if epilepsy, like seizures, that's the one to be concerned of. So, and I'm not going to prescribe anything here. This is education and information only, not prescriptive. But so look at how mesenchymal stem cells are proliferated by red and near infrared light, and even blue light, either blue or red or near infrared light, which is amazing. Continuous wave LEDs and lasers, so both score for this. Okay, and then it's also the proliferation as well as the mineralizing phenotype differentiation. I'm sure everyone knows exactly what that is.
Yes. I mean,
the phenotype differentiation, the mineralizing. But these were, but it actually, the words are pretty easy to dissect. To differentiate means to change something. So stem cell, you don't want to just always have these stem cells that, like, there'll be no benefit, right? They need to mature. So that's called differentiation. And phenotype.
That's when they actually go from just a stem cell to a specific cell, like a muscle cell or a nerve cell or
anything, right? Exactly. And that's phenotype differentiation. And here's the study here. Look, at optimal dose, photobiomodulation, PBM, there was a notable 6.25-fold increase in concentration of extracellular vesicles derived from the HADCS, which is the adipose-derived mesenchymal stem cells. So from the fat. So it's pretty impressive. And this was a single dose. This here was another single dose, and this was bone marrow in humans, and this was in vivo, right? So in life, not in vitro in a petri dish. and in humans, and this is 2022. Let me just see. Yep, February. And so the stem cell count of CD34 plus cells, progenitor cells, stem cells, went from 7.8 to 29.5%. Okay, so that's a huge difference, and I'll show you what that is. 2 hours, it started. So the measurement started. Okay, stem cells are increasing in the red light group versus the non-red light group, and then the levels of CD34 cells peaked at 2 to 4 days post photobiomodulation, then gradually returned to baseline levels. So it shows you that you are biologically designed to regularly get red light, right? And if you wanted to continue that peak of stem cells, which this particular study isn't showing mineralizing phenotype differentiation, right? It's not showing that part. It's not showing the migration. It's just the count, stem cell count. So which the other two categories are what stem cells, the clinics that charge you for it, they don't help in that category because there's the dog. Hey, Ashley, come here. Something terrible has happened, obviously.
I can imagine.
What is it that happened?
Arthur broke my toy.
Arthur broke your toy.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. He broke your toy. And why would he do that? This is Tio Mark. Say hi, Tio Mark.
Hola. She's like, no.
All right.
I did have not to throw you a curve here, but a couple one. I'm supposed to ask if you've heard of histotripsy.
No.
Some kind of procedure that's sound wave treatment to remove liver tumors. I've never heard of it.
No, histotripsy. No, but I histotripsy. No, but I can sound wave. No, but I can research that quickly. By research, I mean just have a look.
The next one was going to be Rich wanting to know if red light can it help pancreas and liver work more normal, and that one's a great one, be an easy one for us to do a quick search just to give them an idea of how you find out.
Exactly. And then with what you've just seen, let me just. Okay.
Some of the research from seizures to pancreas, it is stunning how effective it is. And I wonder if part of that is because it does, it makes so many exomes, so many stem cells, so many whatever, and gives huge amount of energy to the mitochondria. To me, it makes sense as to why it's almost like a magic bullet and it works for so many things.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. This is the key. And so now, introducing the med bed concept. And so the reason why I'm trying to get people clear on the fact that the med bed isn't coming, it's here, and you have to understand that there are basic parameters in technology that exist that there's certain things that cannot be improved upon, right? Where we can't get new spectrums of light, and that the red and infrared are the deepest penetrating. And if you'd say, I want to go deeper than 1100 nanometers, that would be great. Well, that's called mid-infrared, and it's not a very sound therapy. It's it's middle, because it doesn't do what red light does and near infrared light does, and it doesn't do the heat that far infrared does. So mid infrared is kind of like, it's got benefit. Mid infrared light has benefit. It's more in the heating side of things, and then far infrared is only a heat therapy. So once you go higher up from 1100 nanometers, it's not that it's going deeper. That's the deepest penetrating at 1100 nanometers or 1060. That range. We landed on 1064 simply because it had hundreds of studies backing it, but I could have put it at 1200 or 1300 or 1100, but you got to go with data, and so otherwise you're like, hey guys, I've got a great idea, and I don't want to really lead with ideas. I want to lead with facts, and people got either big things on the line. I'm not here to guess with people, but anyway, I'm just saying that the medbed technology, once people realize. Some people that maybe, what I'm talking about with MedBed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's watching. They're looking for that magic pill one, and I would argue it's perhaps it may be the difference between a Model T and a Tesla, but we already have working technology started that direction. That's why everybody's like, "Oh, don't get this, don't get that, just wait for those." For me, I'm not willing to wait.
Oh yeah, exactly. People will wait like forever, and you have to understand there's certain aspect of human nature that legitimizes procrastination and cloaks it in perfectionism, right? So I'm waiting for the perfect, just wait. And I get it if you people are kind of like their life savings are on the line and that type of thing. Basal cell. Yeah, I'll come to that. And if people have got a lot on the line, then I could see why you're kind of holding out and hedging your bets. But you have to go with what's proven, right? So if you could see that the stem cells are increased by, you got to see the math on this. You got to see the math on this. Check this out, right?
All right.
See this. So the macrophages went from 7.8 to 52%. That is the Pac-Man. So the big risk with stem cells is that, okay, maybe you'll feed cancer or something like that. But then you look at all these studies showing it's actually extremely effective in helping people beat cancer. So this would make sense because you have macrophages that are cleaning up all the disease, let's just say the junk in the cells that are driving disease. Right, you see the point. These two mechanisms are happening at the same time. You're getting an increase in stem cells, but your macrophages are they're like an 8 times increase there.
Now, there's another word I'm looking for. Apoptosis.
Apoptosis.
Basically, where the red light triggers the death of the flawed, kind of broken or injured cells, so that the body is forced to renew them with healthy cells.
Yes, exactly. There's an amazing verse in the Bible that says, "Unless a seed falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit." I've collaborated with some of the world's best scientists with understanding stem cells, and they tell me the weirdest things that I wouldn't expect. Okay, here's one for you. If I injected a live stem cells or dead stem cells into you, Mark, the outcome would be the same.
How and why?
Go back to what I said. Unless a seed falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. It's the death of the stem cell that trigger the release of billions of exosomes. That's the mechanism. So if I inject a dead stem cell, it still has the same effect as an alive stem cell. And lots of scientists are agreeing, saying like, this makes sense. And that's the reason why. Anyway, that's the reason why a lot of the clinics that they are like selling dead stem cells, but that's not really the problem. The problem is that the stem cells need light for their maturation, for the mineralizing phenotype differentiation. They need it for that sector of their growth, and they need it for their migration, for them to go where they need to go to. So this is what I'm saying about like the medbed thing, right? So 278% increase in stem cell count after one session that peaked at 2 to 4 days. And then the macrophage is up at 52%, which is, that's about 8 times. So now this is a shin only study. So now the middle estimate would sit around 50 million to 100 million stem cells just in the shin area only after one session. So now this is the full skeleton scaling. So I was running the algorithms of what this might look like, and it would be, somewhere conservatively between 50 million and 1 billion extra stem cells if the whole skeleton produced the same amount of stem cells as the shin, which you would imagine would be the case. But I don't, every aspect of what you want, the studies don't exist, but it's pretty obvious to me that the skeleton, like the reason why, if you got a shin break or an arm break, the reason why the recovery time is very similar is simply because the skeleton has a similar number of stem cells, all right, spread across the body. And my whole point in saying all this is to get a few 100 million to 1 billion stem cells, you'd be talking about the equivalent of 25,000 to 100,000 to get a single dose of that number of stem cells without, and again, it's still not the differentiation and it's still not the migration. So roughly, but it's per day. Nobody would actually do this, but you're talking about 5 to 9 million conservatively, and 9 to 18 million on the higher end side of what it would cost to do this. And so, do you see what I'm saying of why I start, like, I don't roll my eyes, but the equivalent of that in a compassionate sense of when people are waiting for something like the med bed, which, the government is not going to save you with this, right? It's just, I wish it were true. And I Trump posted on it, right? It was an AI video. I'm not saying that was nothing. I have no idea what that was about, but
I guess for me, it's I very much believe the technology, it's coming to us, but so much great technology is here already. Why suffer?
Exactly. There you go. And then tomorrow never comes for a lot of people. You have to, go, walk past a grave, a cemetery, and then think about all the things that people were going to do, which could be anything. Like, oh, I'm going to forgive my dad. Or I'm going to like tell my wife, like, how important she is, and I'm sorry for some of the things I've done, or whatever, right? All the things, or I'm going to build that dream or go after something that's really important to me, or I'm going to work on a health thing and I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to invest some money and I'm going to make some changes. Like, you have to realize that so many people, they all put off something and instead of going for it. And I think that's exactly right. People should go for this or something like this or something else. But my thing isn't, go and buy this or that. It's not a really question of that. It's a question of, do I have something I believe in, and am I doing what I believe in? And if the answer is no, then find something you believe in and then do that thing. Because even if it's not the right thing, you'll then get closer to the right thing, but you'll never know because you never do the things that you think that you should do. You delay on that. So yeah, this one is the NASA study on PEMF, pulse electromagnetic field, on normal neural progenitor cells. These are neural stem cells. This was a 250 to 400% increase.
Wow.
And A and B is the treated neural stem cells, and A is the control. Pretty cool, right? There you go.
It really is.
Now, I did get asked on the basal cell. Okay, so not intended to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease or condition. Consult with a doctor. I don't have all the answers, right? I'm not a clinician, and I'll show you this. And Dr. Michael Karlfeld, he's a great doc. He's doing these in humans, and he's getting great results. He's doing the injections of the methylene blue directly into the tumor. He's out of Idaho, and then this one here was, look at these drops. This was the breast cancer here. This was 100% ablation or remission, change in tumor size here, 1100% growth in the control. Malignant melanoma was 99% reduction in tumor size and 3060% growth in the control. See what I'm talking about here, Mark?
Wow.
Yeah, big deal, right? And this is PubMed, and these are animal studies. Okay, disclaimer there. Now here's the human study, because just like I've got colleagues that are doing this, and they don't have they kind of freely do it. When I say freely, I mean they do it without there necessarily being really any strong contraindications. And I told Dr. Karlfeld, I'm like, look, if things get a little Mad Max and people just kind of lost and they just have no idea, no one's going to do this for them. Would they survive would they do something dramatic by injecting methylene blue directly into their tumor and irradiating it with light? He's like, oh, it's very unlikely for that to be negative, but you know what? Like, you could hit a blood vessel or something like that. But then it's just bleeding at that point. Anyway, I'm not saying that people should do this. I'm certainly not. But I'm also saying
that if I were faced with, I'm in stage 4, they don't have hope for me, I'd be like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
I know, exactly.
Like,
and if nobody's going to do it for you, give it a shot. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. And this one, it's a kind of an indirect answer to the question, but this was a case series on melanoma skin lesions here, the bottom part here, into tumoral methylene blue. This is a human study, red light source, and there was reported a complete clinical remission in 5 out of 6 tumor sites after just 5 sessions. So that's big.
This study makes me want to, at like a questionable spot on, skin spot, or one
Yeah.
is a little skin cancer, you're gonna have to go removed. It makes me want to like just put some methylene blue topically on it and
Yeah.
put it under the red light and see
Exactly.
what happens.
Exactly. Like there's harm. Look, again, no
First,
advice.
do no harm.
Yeah, no advice given here. But in terms of, is there any data showing that would do any harm? And there's so much studies on photodynamic therapy. There's no data here showing to the contrary. Okay, so now here's one. This would be an example here. If I go back, I'll show you. And I went through this with Dr. Michael Carfeld, and he completely agreed with me. Like, here's an example here. There was one case here, which was the HeLa model. Here, you've got a 50% increase in the change of tumor size. Okay, so now this one you'd say, okay, this is a problem. This one grew by 50%. This would be bad. If I had this certain type of cancer, this would be a terrible idea for me. Okay, now look over again. The control, the one that didn't take the methylene blue red light combination. Look at the growth, 329%. So what would you do? Would you slow it down? Because what you actually did, you didn't grow it. What you did do is you actually slowed it down. So it grew with time. So it didn't grow because of the methylene blue red light. If that were the case, then you would see you'd see a baseline here, or you would, or if it did nothing, you'd see them matched. Like both of them would be plus 50. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
So this one, Michael said you'd be foolish not to do this if you saw that big a drop from that one therapy. So, but in this light, if this doesn't change, this one therapy is not going to solve it. Whereas it did for this case. I mean, not for this person. This is an animal. This is a mouse. But this one looks like, with a little bit more application, at a guess, this would go into complete remission. But this kind of solves the missing link to me between stem cells, cancer stem cells, and antimicrobial photodynamic therapy, which is the methylene blue red light combination is antimicrobial photodynamic therapy, meaning it's an anti-parasitic therapy. So for people that are saying, oh, like cancer is actually parasites, that may be true in some contexts or a lot of contexts. And what I'm saying is the predominant issue here is parasites are causing malformation of cells. So I'm still in their camp with that, still having a different reason why it's happening, but I'm not the only one. It's just it's an interference with the mitochondrial stem cell connection that causes the cells not to form properly. So it's a very basic process. But whatever the case, you're just doing something that is killing parasites. And then the cancer stem cells, if you look at what kills cancer stem cells, you'll see, there's lots of different, drugs that do that. So I say, what is proven to kill cancer stem cells? And then cancer stem cells are influencing the whole progression of cancer. Okay, so let's go. Here's some of the curcumin, green tea, sulforaphane, resveratrol, and then immunotherapy. But then the metformin falls into the category, not saying that people should do it or not.
I just like, look at those treatments, and so many of them are like anti-parasitical.
There you go.
Boom.
Yep, you get it now. And that's why what you're doing with the ivermectin, Mark, is great, because it's part of the solution. And there's a reason why you would do it. And you would stack in the red light and near infrared light. And then this basal cell that the woman was talking about before, that you would just, to me, like, again, I don't know, like, what I would do, right? But I mean, I think I know what I would do, but nobody knows until they're in the situation. But I think I would do photodynamic therapy. And you can look at contraindications and see every possible thing. Anyone that, like, any studies or anything you find that says, well, we may be cautioned about red light, and then you say, well, yeah, but what about photodynamic therapy? And then it says, okay, no. It gives up. It's like, okay, fine, you win. photodynamic therapy, because the mechanisms of causing, like what the word you said before, apoptosis, the programmed cell death through photosensitizing, through sensitizing the cell to light, that's the mechanism. So it's solid, and it's proven to be very effective. And even if it's not proven for this very certain cancer that you have, here's the studies in other types of cancer, and we try to give me actual evidence and data where it was causing a group to get worse outcomes, and that people, and then there was a control, right? So that it's a measurable study versus something that just could be used to try to poo-hoo, in this case, light therapy. So yeah, and that's my answer there. But that was a fire hydrant, and so that to me is solving some of these questions where we're going after parasites, we're creating new stem cells. We're actually causing the death of stem cells. Again, super interesting. What? We're killing stem cells, killing cancer stem cells, and we're killing stem cells. Look, nobody actually really knows, just to be honest, just to be like real, like nobody is actually even pulling this all together. Like, who have you heard even explain any of these concepts? And we need like people that are able to actually just cross-reference and connect the dots. And I talk to physicians all the time. Like, I show you my phone right now with all the doctors. Like, I was just consulting with a doctor's team. I mean, that doctor has treated 90,000 patients. She's one of the biggest go-to doctors in the world for cancer. And they would just, the whole team of doctors there sitting just like with this kind of question and answer with me like kind of being quizzed as to like, what do you think about this and this? And then half of the conversation being like, we can't really, we don't know. Can we believe you? This sounds so out there. And then I'm like, Lee, do you know this person? This person? Does this person in common? Call them, because this is, this happened for their patients, or this happened for, their, or a family member, people that I could actually anchor with them. But it was a really great, this was at the Beljanski. People can look up these events. So you can look at all the doctors that spoke there. I was one of the speakers, the Beljanski Integrative Cancer Conference. And this is like kind of the go-to for the world's top cancer doctors. And most of the top clinics there are all using our devices, which is actually, that's super cool, right, Mark? This is what I love. Anti-aging, like make yourself look like a vampire. Oh, that's cool. It's cool. It's sexy, whatever. That's great. I love it. My stuff, I love being in the trenches. I love seeing people get better from chronic conditions. And I took a call on Saturday because it was a guy that had stage 4 liver, kidney, and bone cancer.
Oh.
And then I said, hey, do you have like what's your budget? I'm like, it's none of it's for me. Like, and I was just consulting, like just kind of giving him some information as a friend in my documentaries and all the information. And then he said like, oh, well, like I was going to be valued at around like $5 billion because I developed some of the world's best encryption and this. I can't even remember everything he explained to me, but then, after our biggest shareholder died, his son or nephew or something tried to like, just kind of bleed out the company. And so, no, I don't really have anything right now. I'm like, okay, it's still fine. Right. And then here's some of the things, here's some of the places. And I started referring, some of the tools and solutions that we've been talking about for the longest time. And then one of the images I showed him was this one, and I'll just show you this and we can answer that question. I said, just explain this to me. Okay. So you can tell me if that's up on screen.
It's on the screen.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So guys, go here, go to that site. Right. So they're the words.
That's one we don't get to say out loud. So you
yeah,
have to use your eyes for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I think I get away with saying that site, but like it's showing on screen, so I don't need to. I'm just being hyper cautious. Just put in those words and then search that for these examples. And here's an example here, and I just led him through this and how the body heals and regenerates, and I just explained this. I won't even stay on the images too long because it's graphic. But it's the same person, and you could just keep reading more and more of these stories. This is electromolecular medicine. The reason the body is electric. The body is electric and it heals through electrical signaling, and we need to increase voltage. And red light and PEMF do have a direct effect on membrane potential and mitochondrial function and all of this. And so it's a direct and an indirect connection to mitochondrial energy. This is a solution that I don't offer it. You buy it on Amazon for $30, and so then you could just get that, but you have to learn about it through that site, and you just put in these are the words, and then that's it, right? So that's as quick as I can do it now. Whoops. And that's what I'm talking about. And then I'll take it off screen. Okay. So any of those, right? And then learn about it and read about it. And it's simple. I'll take that off screen now.
I am getting lots of questions. You have to tell me when you're ready to.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it.
One's a customer service one. They can't make the little metal piece bounce around on their mat.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay. Let us drop in your information. I think it's possible that you might not be hitting the frequency button, the one in the middle of your controller, and then move the magnet around, right? Because you've got 8 coils in our BioForge mat. You'll have to show us which one you have. Move the magnet around. Put the number up to 30 as well, so that you can get it's a more rigorous signal. It's not a more powerful signal. It's just more pulses within the second. And then Mark, if you could just get them to drop their email, we'll actually just give you guys a call, today or tomorrow.
VB, send me an email at theoriginalmarkz@gmail.com, and I'll forward it to Jonathan.
Yeah, we'll absolutely help you with that. And so I'm certain it's a user error, but in either case, that's fine. And if it were ever the case where for something has happened, even if it got, even if you drop something on it, please don't. But we'll replace it, right? So it's fine. We'll take care of that.
Couple of eye questions. One, somebody with wet eye macular degeneration, would it help? And then the other one was, hey, you don't seem to be using one. A lot of places they have eye protection for it. I don't use protective glasses when I use it, but then I only use it for about 3 minutes on my eyes, and then it's on my body instead of my eyes. That's me. I don't know what the.
Yeah, I'll say that. So that the University College London, that study was reporting on average immediately for people over 40 within the same 24-hour period, 17% improvement in eyesight. So that was referencing the result, the methodology that you're talking about, which was 670 nanometer light, which is in all of our red light devices, whether it's the smaller ones or the larger ones. Like this is a smaller one, right? So, or one of the larger ones. And okay, then you would say, well, then maybe I shouldn't use any of the other wavelengths. I would argue that all the red and near infrared spectrum are proven in a general sense to be very good for the eyes. And there are studies ranging, because there are big studies now. There's 41 clinical trials on 6,400 children showing that red light is the #1 thing that stops vision worsening for children. And so then because there's, in this case, 41 different clinical trials, there's lots of different parameters. There's not just one wavelength. 600 to 1100 is replicating the sunrise and the sunset, which people through thousands of years have looked at sunrises and sunsets and reported benefits. And that is in historical literature. It's been a thing, right? And that people have used for mood, for cognition, for disease reversal, etc. So this study from University College London went all the way up to 45 minutes. Eyes open, Mark.
Oh, wow.
So it was 3 minutes to 45 minutes. And neither reported any issues with the eyes. The one to take out would be the blue. And I've got the blue going there, but my eyes aren't directly against it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't have any personal concerns. It does look like the police is coming for me a little bit here and there. It does feel like that. I don't like that feeling.
Nobody does.
Yeah, so take the blue out just for that reason. So it doesn't feel like the police are coming for you, because that's going to be like a flight. No, just kidding. But you never know. And so you could do all the way up to 45 minutes. Now, the reason why, if it was just for eyesight, the 3 minutes is suffice. We could argue that maybe there's diminishing returns, like once you go over 3 minutes, but I don't see any evidence for it. It was still the same outcome, right? But it just mattered whether it was the morning or the afternoon. People got no benefit if it was in the afternoon. So it had to be the morning. And so I'd argue that likely for like wet eye, dry eye, macular degeneration, I would just argue the same thing, even though they don't often put this as a parameter, the timing in the day. I think that that's where we need to kind of take all the information and learn from it. And yeah, I would personally be trying that, and I would have my eyes open. And the reason why I do more than 3 minutes wouldn't be for improvement in eyesight, but it'd be for improvements in brain function. And so that's why I would consider doing 15 minutes with the eyes open to 30 minutes. That's what I would consider myself. And
I mean, there's
and
so
what
much
I actually do.
research, so much research, and how much it helps with things like cataract. Of course, with the macular degeneration, there's tons of research on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Yep. It's awesome. Ready for your next one, big guy.
Yeah, let's see what we got. Migraines, perhaps?
Yeah. Top in a table and results and parameters. Okay, so I'm just putting in. Okay, let's pull up. Migraines is one. It's a symptom, and it is largely a hydration issue and intracellular dehydration. So that's why people get like headaches when they're dehydrated, and it's like, yeah, but I'm drinking a lot of water. Anyone that is dehydrated and is sick of getting a headache, they're still trying to drink water. And so electrolytes then make sense, and these things can help. And so you would dial in that. The solution that I just talked about, I would use that for any chronic condition, and it's basically free. And it, to me, it doesn't, I've not seen it have contraindications with many things. Like, you just don't take it at the same time as vitamin C, right? That's the solution I talked about before. We flashed it up on screen. So just go back and look at that and consider just getting that, learning from the open source websites. They could have charged ridiculous amounts of money for that, because it's really important information, and they've studied it for 18 years, and they would be worthy of every penny, but they gave it away for free. So take advantage of that gift that is being given, that now 30 million people are using worldwide. I'm friends now with the founder of Zumba. He's at 50 million people doing Zumba, and we're talking about putting red light in the Zumba room. So, but this was important for him with his uncle battling some things, right? So I get all the calls from all the guys in the know that are asking for help with different things. And okay, so I would personally be stacking in that therapy. But red light with migraines, let's just look at that. And I'll show you something else here that I pull out. Okay, and let me share screen there again. This one.
It is up.
Yeah, cellular energy. Because just remember as well, like, if you have some big issues that are going on in your brain, which is like a lot of plastics go to the brain, a lot of heavy metals go to the brain, a lot of parasites go to the brain. It's like an energy center. It's like them sitting in your kind of motherboard heat energy, voltage pathway, and they need enough energy, but they also don't want the body's energy to be too high because it will kill them. And so they're controlling things. It's so eerie. Toxoplasma gondii is half the world is infected by it, Mark. Half the world. It's like a hive mind, and they're wanting to increase their pathway, and they want to get into more people. So then there's this hookup culture. Could be like a major factor for that is actually parasitic infection, because promiscuity is a transferal method. Anyway, but you've got all these parasites and different issues potentially that are causing all these different symptoms, which just manifest as pain. So, migraine doesn't exist in the sense that you think it does. It's the absence of of a proper functionality that is causing something that shows up as pain. So it's going to reduce the neuroinflammation. It's going to increase cellular energy and desensitize overactive pain pathways. So that's a good combo. Let's look at the study or the science behind that, because they're referencing here a couple of other science. Let's see what scientific evidence we have for that. Studies. This one from Harvard Health. White, blue, amber, and red lights. They're saying we're likely to heighten pain and muscle tenderness. In contrast, narrow band green light was found to have the least irritating and the most effective for providing acute pain relief. But sometimes as well, like this to me is a problem with just how they're thinking about this. Pain as if pain is always a bad thing. Of course, you want to get rid of the pain, but if your body had to experience a little bit of pain and then it got better, would you not just want to pass through that? And pain is actually an evidence the body's trying to heal, right? So if you got a cut, you'd immediately feel pain. And if you didn't feel pain, you'd think, man, there's something wrong with me. Why am I not feeling pain? Or you think maybe there's some kind of override your body had, maybe to kind of protect you, and maybe that's a good thing. But other than that, it's really a thing to kind of understand that pain is actually part of a solution, but it just needs to resolve quickly so that you're not continually in pain. Symptom relief, right? So it's there. This is light therapy and chronic migraine. This one here was 64% drop in pain intensity after the treatment. Okay. Yeah, we'd have to read more. And here's the 660. There's a red. Absorbs through the skin. Reduces pain in neuropathies, including migraines. So, 660 does, that I'd have to see, because that's not PubMed, right? So we'd have to kind of read on each one. And then we go here to, and I'll show you, I think that gives you some really good keys here. But here's Harvard Health. Here's light therapy and migraine, PubMed. Let's have a look at this one.
Showing promising signs.
Yeah, exactly. And they like green light therapy in this, which is good. 590 that we have in our device is on it's right towards the green, because green is 525, yellow is 590, and so it's very, very close. But I wouldn't get fastened on that. I would be particularly looking at near infrared. If I feel like some people get maybe thrown by things like this, in that they've because you have to look at the studies on stem cells, and they're being produced by red and near infrared. And so the problem to me is that people are trying to I feel some pain, I want to get rid of that, instead of thinking, well, how do I make new and more stem cells in my brain? How do I shut down the disease cells, senescent cells, and cause apoptosis and the creation of new exosomes in my brain? And the answer is red and near infrared light. That's going to be the best and deepest penetrating. Whereas if you're I want symptom relief, then you're not really solving the problem. Symptom relief is just a part of it, of which case I think that green light has some benefits there. But I would go with the most proven, generally speaking, for the deepest penetration, etc. Oh yeah, that was there for. And then I was looking at this here. This was something I just did here because I know there's a lot of people with lots of different things going on. I put in, here's some of the top conditions here. This was androgenic alopecia, knee osteoarthritis, wound healing, skin rejuvenation, mural mucositis, acute radiation dermatitis, fibromyalgia, muscle recovery. You'd see dry eye. There's myopia control. Here's all the wavelengths that are proven: 650, 810, 630, 850, 633, 685, 830, 780. Reduced severity and pain, faster healing, foot ulcers. So you've got lots of helpful information there. So I'll stop sharing that, and you can continue.
Had somebody asking what distance when they're using it for their eyes. I mean, mine's somewhere between 6 inches and a foot.
Yeah,
but I don't know what the.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll show you what the University College London study looked like, so that you can consider that. Ready? Look at this. I'm going to put in UCL red light 670 study. Look at that image, right? Images. That is
add that one there. And folks, I will add Jonathan to my link tree to make finding them easier for you guys.
See, like, it's right against the eye, and that's a very small device as well. And the reason why I would argue that people will get a much better result from using a panel is because eyes are still connected to every other part of the body and every other organ. That's why iridology is looking at your organ function. And so to me, getting red light then over your organs makes a ton of sense, getting it over the rest of your brain, because that's the most direct pathway into the brain. So that's my number one. If there's one area that I think all people should put red light, it's directly into their eyes, because that you have the highest concentration of mitochondria in your brain cells. And then the variable here is like, what is the strength of that light that they're using there, and what's the strength of the device you're using? And because obviously most of you guys know, I have a red light therapy company.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah. And but I'm an open source educator, right? So I don't actually care whether people get my devices or what they do. I care that people get results, and I care that people use good things that work, and because that's the fulfilling part of my work. And so I want people to be able to get the right exposures. So, we're talking about, like, I'll show you this with some meters. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that. Watch this, right? So I'm going to turn this on, and then I'm going to use this device here. Okay, and I'm going to use this device. This is like a $2,000 device that tests wavelengths of light. So I'm going to put this up against here, running that. Okay, I'm going to take it off the pulsing. Okay, now I'm going to run it. So now you can see here, there's the wavelengths.
Okay. Yes.
So see how you could see there's the 660, there's the 830, the 1064, the 633, the 660, the 480. They're all there. So that's the wavelengths, including the 670 that was the same as that study. So what you want is all the wavelengths that are proven to be effective. And again, I'm saying the red and near infrared. There's many different studies showing that. But the irradiance, this is the main part I was just talking about now. So I've got this meter against this device. And now you've got over, there at, that's half a foot away. That's maybe 10, 12 inches away. And we're talking about 130 milliwatts per centimeter squared coming out of the device. Some of the studies go as far as more like 50 milliwatts. So in which case, being like a good foot away would maybe, like, if I'm this far away, now I'm at 90. And so some would say, okay, well, that would be better. I still lean on the side of higher irradiance. I've just seen people get tremendous results. I mean, people go look at Redacted's interview. That was about 50% improvement in eyesight within 3 weeks. And he was full dose directly into the light. Right. And I think he is, I mean, I could look at my text messages with Clayton, but it was like 3 inches away, like close. I think I even told him to go 1 inch, right? Because that's what I'm like, for people that are not so gun shy. I'm like, okay, go for it. Like, go be at a single inch away. Now this one, let's see what I got here. Mode, brightness. Yeah, brightness is up. And I've got interference in the room, so I can't get a complete. I can't get this without.
What wavelengths are you using?
All 10 actually. There are 10 wavelengths in all these devices as of like the start of this year. With the devices had been 10 wavelengths. All right, so which is 480, 590, 630. I'll pull them up here. You can see each one of them. So 590, 630, 660, 670, 810, 830, 850, 940, 1060. And then
Treebeard, I don't close my eyelids when I'm trying to get the light in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So I would personally be.
It's just like close. It will penetrate, but it's going to do a better job without them in the way.
Yeah, exactly. Red, people do believe that red stops, but then we see evidence that red is getting all the way into the bones because they're in stem cell studies with the bones. So I think it does actually get through the close, even red, but certainly the near infrared does. But yeah, I would say that I would personally be close up against the device. But this is really what differentiates like a Christmas light. And I have got this in front of the devices that would be literally like almost a 100th of the intensity of light. And so then that's a big difference. And so they can't be compared with each other. They're two different things. And you can visibly see that kind of brightness there. But that's really what the value there, and the reason why the top clinics, holistic, cancer centers, whatever. I'm not making claims that saying our devices, cure cancer. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that they're using our devices. I would say that what they're doing is they're helping overall health with our devices. That's a very kind of clear thing. The reason why they're using that. Yeah. But I genuinely believe that as well. I just believe that it's more about just fixing the body's biological processes and helping like how your body will generate new healthy cells and all of that.
I just noticed the time. I'm going to start running into a stop, but you want to tell them? Yeah, I can tell them. Go to My Redlight. Hold on here. Let me add my screen. Go to myredlight.com if you're interested in these. They've got a cart. You can shop products, shop devices. The codes, are they still MarkZ 25 for single items, MarkZ 30 for bundles?
Correct. Yep. So we'll keep that available for a limited time, so that can close right at any time. So it's just good to be aware of that because we do change things. And so if people are interested in that, grab it while it's available. HSA, we have that now. So if you have HSA, look for the information for that on the page, and you could just use that when you're checking out, and that way you can get what you need there and activate that. My team can help you with that. That's easy. And then I think the last thing to talk about is the epic stories, man. I think my grandma right now, she used this one. So you can look at the different sizes. That's the 600 there. This one here is the 300. And that's it there, and 300 Pro Max. And the 300 is the same length as the 300 Pro Max, but it's the width of the 200. And so that's the 200, which is still one of my favorites. The 300 is one of my favorites. The 600 is the biggest. But they all have there are reasons why we have bundles that have multiple devices. You can have one on the front, one on the back. You can have one in a room. one room of the house, another in another room. You can have one on a stand, one like this that kind of sits more stationary, and you can move it around because it's easy to move.
Or you may choose to get a bundle to be able to share with family or friends.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. And then you just, turn the device on, get in front of it. And my grandma, she, on my wife's side, 87, nearly 88, she was in agonizing pain moving her arm up like this, and big cognitive decline. The number of stitches she got was 7 in her head when she fell in front of my house over here. And she had to be cared for by her daughter, and she's got her full independence back. And it was just because of this single device. And the reason why I got her on it was because to heal the scar, even though I knew the reason why I was really going after that. She doesn't have to take a thyroid medication. She still is, but she doesn't have to. Her markers are showing that she has no need for it, which is crazy at her age. And considering that she only ever put her back to it, now she puts her front to it. But within about 6 weeks after just putting her back to it, it obviously, to me, from my research, traveled through her body and helped her solve that issue, even though she didn't directly put it against her thyroid, even though that would be my top recommendation. We just keep seeing these amazing stories. My wife, my mother-in-law, she was about to take pain medication, but she didn't want to because she has one kidney. She donated one of her kidneys to her husband, my father-in-law, and she really didn't want to take it. She had such bad knee pain. And then so she put it over it. She texted me the other day. Let me see if I can pull that up. But this was an example where it just was awesome to see that she avoided getting that on her body. And here it is. Here, I'll share. Let's see if I can share my whole screen, because people say things you don't know whether it's true or not. So let me just prove what I'm saying. Share the sound. Okay, share entire screen. So here's my text message with my mother-in-law. Good morning. I was consistently doing red light for longer hours. Wore the needed compression sleeve for my knee last night. Woke up better. Did the therapy again from 6 to 7 a.m. The pain is almost gone. I'm impressed. Thank you. Yesterday was at 8. I can't take pain medication because I was having one kidney, but I was about to. I can take pain, but it was unbearable. Today, I will say it was about a 2. Once I started moving around, it increases. So doing the red light again more often. And then what she's got. Oh yeah, there's Asha. That was such a sweet video. Can you hear that?
This spider next to the pool. We don't know what it's called. I think it's called wolf spider. And I'm Asher, and that's all.
There's a video he sent to me while I was away, just to because his brother sent me a video, and I sent a video message back to him, and he's like, well, I want to do one too. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. And then this one I'll show you. This was a PEMF mat one. This girl here.
So what are you feeling?
Can you hear that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so she is 33. She's had some massive health problems. She had surgery done on her legs. She was in such bad pain, and she had a mold toxicity, and it had her so that she had inability to put her thoughts together properly. So it was a real issue. And now here's her lying on this PMF mat for the first time, and you could see her eyes a bit glassy because she started crying because of what she felt in her body. For people that haven't done PEMF, it can be really life-changing for people and restore a lot of things in the body. Check this out.
I feel deep relaxation, peace. All of my cells are just exhaling a deep sigh of relief and happiness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every cell. It feels like my whole body just finally unwound everything. It feels so good.
That's beautiful. You look emotional.
I was crying earlier. You missed it. Tears of joy and peace, just absolute bliss. Tears of bliss.
From what you're feeling right now.
Just this mat. Yeah. Yeah, just laying here. I feel so good.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So she goes into explaining what the cognitive decline that she felt. Let's see what she says here.
bed. I just want to like feel good. This is
And you were mentioning that, and ink.
for a while, like 2 years ago, the words that I would expect to come out of my mouth just never came out anymore. Like I was struggling with stringing together a sentence of words that made sense as fast as I would expect. I had to take really long pauses between words.
Yeah. So then, so she's somebody that had been through a lot. Look at what we did here with the magnet. Ready? Watch this. So you can see visibly what's happening. What she's feeling is a magnetic response. So she's feeling cellular communication. She's feeling relief. So her body is more sensitive than your average. So she's feeling something maybe that I wouldn't feel right away. And so that's a great example. Last one I'll show here is here. You could see this, right? So again, so as Mark said, the original MarkZ right here and now, myredlight.com, using the codes MarkZ 25 for individual items and MarkZ 30 for bundled items for 25 and 30% off. So you could see this interview I did with with Clayton Morris here. It's a 47-minute interview. It's a really good one that's well worth the watch. And I explain the whole stem cell science and everything. And this one here goes through, and this is like some amazing testimonies from people. That's an amazing story. This, like, you hear this for a second, right?
In my stomach, and if I don't know if I'm gonna have a heart attack. I don't know who else to turn to. I'm in so much pain. Is there somebody that can help me?
It was so devastating.
Why?
When you look in your son's eyes, every moment he could have, just hold me, because he didn't know if he was gonna have a mother tomorrow or not. Your work really has saved my life.
No one has to suffer. No one has to die. We can save everyone.
I would have been lost without Jonathan and the help of those experts.
I love you, want to see you better. I mean, that's as simple as it is.
You wanted me to heal since the day I met you. You're going to change my life, and you're going to change so many other people's life.
And I said, God, you have to help me through this. You can't leave me. And the first video was Jonathan Otto.
You, my friend, are saving my patients. You're saving lives by getting this information out.
The work that you've done, Jonathan, has been a game changer for millions of people. This work has saved lives. It reaches people in a way that they can't find in their doctor's office.
I am a personal subscriber to Jonathan Otto. I get all of his emails, and I think that what he's doing is fantastic.
Came across you.
So, there's so many great case studies here of all these different lives changed, and you can go through and watch them. You could see the 92-year-old here that regained her vision. This was macular degeneration, and I'm not making a claim. I don't know what will happen for individuals. I know that she had severe neuropathy. I know that she doesn't have pain anymore. I know that, there's his tennis elbow, he couldn't play with his kids. Now he's just going to play with them. He's got his mobility back, and it's just awesome. We know our devices are working. We know they're changing people's lives, Mark.
Conditions.
And it's about just, giving people their lives back one step at a time, and then just accepting that, it doesn't have to be this way. And maybe we could turn everything around, and maybe that could happen for me too. And it really is the person that then just takes that leap and believes for themselves, whether it's something small, like a red light therapy belt like this, which is, a few $100s. It's got the pulsing light as well, if people want to do pulsing, because there's lots of great studies on that, and people should just search, show me the studies on pulse wave. Typically 40 hertz is the most proven there, and you could just try that and see what that does for you, and then try constant wave, which is what you've been seeing so far without the pulsing, and then just start experimenting. And I've often shared the story of Dee Dee, 9 out of 10 pain, down to a 0 using this, and she's a massage therapist that's now enjoying a career and her livelihood once again, which she was out of the game for. So guys, whatever you're dealing with, just believe that it could be possible. If you've got loved ones that are suffering and you're the person that's in the know, just think about how you can help them. Send them this video if they can afford it. Help them to make those choices and encourage them if they can't, and you're like a child. This is the cheap part of it, where you help them out on this side of the thing. Like all my parents on both sides of the family, they've all got like gifts from me, right? And it's not just because I have the company. I paid 6 figures in stem cells before I knew about red light therapy, and it didn't really do anything. So this was the cheap option for me. Whether I had the company or not, is way cheaper than all the other things I did. And I just encourage you to take care of your loved ones, because you only got one. You only got that 1 or 2 children or 3 children, or whoever you got. You only got those 1 or 2 parents that you've got, that are maybe with your grandparents or whoever you've got in your life, your best friend. Just
take care of them.
Go to work. Exactly. You got it, Mark. That's what we do.
Take care of them.
That's what we do, bro.
All right, Jonathan, I'll drag you back in here sometime soon, because we left a lot of questions for people, but we'll work that one out. Everybody else, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Thank you, Jonathan.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, guys.